Taylor with it off to the races, 40 to the 50, 45 to the 30-yard.
He came in early, a lot of hype, very good.
Moss and Taylor are there, and Sean Taylor deflects it away.
And all he kept telling me is, every time you catch the ball, I'm going to try to kill you.
Imagine being jolted away from a peaceful sleep.
It's like he knew something was off in that house.
A machete, a gun, intruders. Chaos erupted in an instant.
Breaking news out of Florida involving an NFL star.
Redskins safety Sean Taylor in critical condition after he was shot in his Florida home early Monday morning.
He meant a whole lot of things to a whole lot of people.
A young, promising life lost, a family broken, and a community and fan base in mourning.
Miami, Florida, more than just nightlife and beaches. It's home to some of sports' greatest legends. Born on April 1st, 1983 in a Miami suburb, Sean Taylor grew up surrounded by football.
I think he was more so a protector, and that started from being younger. He felt like he was the man of the house all the time.
He was like, Auntie, I'm gonna play football and I'm gonna make money. He really wanted everyone to be together. I think that was his focus that drove him.
At Gulliver Prep, Taylor was a two-way powerhouse, running back and safety, unstoppable on both sides of the ball.
Sean telling me about how they used to run on the highways. I'm like, what do you mean? Like with cars going by? He was like, yeah, man, just out there running in nighttime, morning time, before school, after school, like just running.
You gotta think Sean Taylor's just a little upset that Rashard Dudley got 2A Player of the Year.
Sean was trying to rip that guy's head off every single time that guy touched the ball.
Sean Taylor makes him pay.
His high school career accumulated in a state championship, bringing him one step closer to his dream, the National Football League. When it came time for college, Taylor didn't stray far. Miami was his home, and it became his proving ground. His arrival at the U was highly anticipated, and he didn't disappoint.
I hadn't heard of Sean Taylor, and all of a sudden they fixing the incoming recruit highlight film, and I'm like, they slid one in on me. He jumping over people's head.
When I first saw him, I was like, wow, a beast. You didn't have to touch that kid, man. He knew how to play the game.
He's a man amongst boys.
Number 26 shows you why he's the #1 safety in the country.
Definitely one of my favorite plays. It was against Florida State. PK Sam caught a pass. He just knocked him flat on his ass. Made him do like a 360.
During his junior season, Taylor was electric. 10 interceptions made him a defensive nightmare and a league leader. The buzz around him grew even louder.
He just went from here and he just blew up.
After 3 dominant years, Taylor declared for the NFL draft, and the league took notice.
I remember, telling Coach Gibbs and Greg Williams, we need to draft Sean Taylor.
And he would call on the phone, and he'd go, Sean. He'd go like that. That's why he didn't hang up.
I'm Sean Taylor, University of Miami, the hardest hitter in the draft.
He slept his entire life on an NFL pillow until the day he got drafted. And I still have it.
Wow, he really did this. He was sitting there and he would talk to us and say, life is going to change.
With the 5th pick in the 2004 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins select Sean Taylor, safety, University of Miami.
In Taylor's preseason debut, he made an immediate impact, adding his first defensive series with an interception.
First game, NFL, he was the best player on the field, and you could see it.
There is Sean Taylor. We talked about this rookie and the splash he's already made.
I said, all right, we got ourselves a Hall of Fame Pro Bowl player here.
God made certain people play football for sure. He was one of them.
He dives in for the touchdown, Redskins.
Every game, he'd do something to let you know that he wasn't from this planet and all of us were.
Feel great. We in Florida. Can't get no better.
By 2006, Taylor earned his first Pro Bowl appearance, and he delivered the hit heard around the world.
That pretty much translates in every language, doesn't it? Yes, it does.
He wanted to buy a house that everyone can kind of come together, all his siblings. Our friend from high school was his realtor, and when he walked into the house, he stood in the kitchen. He's like, I can just picture myself and like all my family in front of me and me cooking for them.
So it was like the family house. Everybody can come there and feel comfortable.
After the birth of his daughter Jackie, he considered moving to Virginia full-time to be closer to his family, seeking a quieter, safer life.
We weren't even halfway through the year. He had 5 interceptions already.
He's throwing it deep down the left sideline. Sean Taylor there. There's the interception. He's got Jennings wide open. Sean Taylor over, and he picks it off. Over the middle, fires. It's picked off. Sean Taylor with it off to the races. 40 to the 50, 45 to the 30-yard line out of bounds. His 5th interception of the year.
Sean Taylor limping off the field.
He's got something going on. He's not healthy at this stage of the season right now.
On the very same day as Taylor suffered an injury, his mother reported a burglary at the family's Miami home.
He's like, hey, somebody tried to break into my house. I'm like, dang, you know? And he's like, man, they lucky I wasn't there.
Sean Taylor's home has been broken into. Someone pried open a window, rifled through his drawers, and tried to get into his safe in his bedroom.
Concerned for their safety, Taylor flew home while his teammates traveled to Tampa.
We woke up that day and we went on a bike ride, and then that night we all went back and I cooked, and we spoke about like that we were gonna, move to Virginia and we were gonna start he called it our niche there, and it was like the sense of like peace inside of him, it was just like, I remember like going to sleep that night and being like, God, like if it could just be like this every day, like, wow. Like my life is gonna be amazing.
And then, tragedy struck.
Some jolting news off the field on Monday. Redskins safety Sean Taylor in critical condition after he was shot in his Florida home early Monday morning. Police officers were dispatched to Taylor's Miami area home at 1:45 a.m. and Taylor was later airlifted to a local hospital.
When someone's home become a crime scene, it's just bad.
While CSIs continue processing the scene, Detective Segovia turns his attention to Sean's girlfriend, Jackie Garcia.
Through shock, fear, and pain, Jackie recounts her story to detectives. She and Sean were asleep with their 18-month-old daughter when they were jolted awake by the sound of someone breaking in.
He was home with his girlfriend, Jackie Garcia, and their 18-month-old daughter. They heard noise in the living room, were awakened, got up. Sean locked the bedroom door, went under his bed for a small machete that he keeps under there. By the time he got to the bedroom door, it was burst open, and 2 shots were fired. One hit him in the upper leg, and one hit the wall. He was bleeding profusely from the leg. Apparently, his femoral artery was hit, and he was bleeding out.
The next thing she remembers is grabbing a cell phone and calling 911. She remained in the bedroom until uniform officers arrived. Garcia, unfortunately, never saw anybody.
I remember going back to the room, man, thinking about if we make it through the night, that everything gonna be okay. And I dozed off. And I woke up to banging on the door. It was like boom, 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 boom. And I remember opening my eyes and I looked at the window. And when I looked at the window, it was still dark out.
And I banged on the door, and I could hear him start crying immediately. And he opened the door. I was in tears, and it was terrible.
The doctor, Pete, and he said if the bullet would have went in 1/8 of an inch up, down, left, or right, there would be no more in the flesh wound. And then he said Sean was dead when he got here. And he said that he never seen a man fight for his life as hard as he did.
My heart is broken. Sean, I love you as my brother. I love you as my friend. And I'm gonna miss him with all my heart.
There are thousands of people waiting to see if someone will be held accountable.
It's a huge game of connected dots.
Was this a random act of violence, or was Sean Taylor targeted?
There were assumptions made about how he brought this on himself. Just weeks before, there had been a birthday party at Taylor's house for his sister, and it was her friends from Fort Myers who had come to clean the pool deck. Sean Taylor had paid one of the guys who ended up being involved in this $300.
And now it's like I never trusted anybody before, but now it's like it's really hard to trust like anybody.
Other guys had got access to the house. They saw how generous he was with his money. He gave bags of money to his sister and brother in front of his friends. And it was that generosity that ended up inviting these scoundrels from Fort Myers to come and do what they did.
25-year-old Charles Wardlow was sentenced today after accepting a plea deal. Wardlow is the fourth man to be convicted in Taylor's death. A fifth, who is Wardlow's cousin, is still awaiting trial. The man identified as the shooter, Eric Rivera Jr., was sentenced to 60 years in prison.
Sean Taylor's life was cut short, but his legacy, that's still being written.
I try to be the best every day I step out on the field, and, you know, one day I'll be at that level where I can say, you know, I was one of the better safeties to play the game of football. There's not a day I take that jersey off of a hanger and I don't think about it. People ask me, why am I wearing number 21 in practice? Every day I wear it, it sparks up a conversation about him. For as long as I play, that's what I care about.
He was such an amazing person outside of his career that a lot of people didn't get to see. He would have been an amazing father.